if you ever thought that maybe AP Games was out of his mind and that Conquest isn't one of the most important game modes to exist in Star Wars currently, here's your proof, okay? Because this is, man, this is an amazing character that is going to warp the game all on his own, right? He doesn't need a galactic legend, okay? He's just going to take his cute little Sith Empire boys that a good majority of people have, and if they don't have them currently, that people are going to be working towards, and he's going to tear you a new one. let's get into it. All right, so we got Darth Malgus, a dark side tank leader, Sith Empire, and he is crazy. He is bananas. Without even knowing his character stats, I am terrified of him because I think he's going to be the thickest man alive, and his speed is going to be through the roof. Unless his base speed is like 70, which, man, it'd be crazy if his base speed was 70. So first up we have his basic, which has a Zeta on it called Unfettered Rage. The final text says, deal physical damage to target enemy with a 50% chance to attack again, doubled if the target is a Jedi. On the second attack, Darth Malgus gains 20% max health, stacking to 100 until the end of the encounter. These attacks can't be countered or evaded. Sith Empire allies gain critical damage up for 2 turns. Important notes on this ability to keep in the back of your head: we are stacking max health. Just keep that in your mind. On top of that, we have anti-Jedi synergy, which means we're going to be able to really punch up with this squad for certain. I bet you these Omicrons are going to really push us to have a real fighting chance, if not a really easy win versus at least Jedi Master Luke, let alone maybe Kenobi. We'll get to that as we go further into the kit. Moving on to our first special, Deprived Senses, a 3 cooldown Omicron. It says, deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict blind and shock for 2 turns. If the target was already shocked, shocked all enemies for 2 turns, and inflict ability block on the target enemy for 2 turns. Darth Malgus taunts for 2 turns. Before the Omicron, let's break this down a little bit. I'm not sure if when you hit something with shock, you then instead of blinding do the ability block. I'm going to assume until told incorrectly that we're going to get all these debuffs. So we shock an enemy, we blind an enemy. If they're already shocked, we ability block them. And if they're already shocked, we spread shock to the rest of the team, which is huge. Shock is a very annoying debuff. Now, while in Grand Arenas, it becomes a disgusting ability because it says debuffs inflicted by this ability cannot be resisted. And Sith Empire allies gain critical chance up for 2 turns, so that's whatever. If the target was already shocked, deal true damage to all other enemies, and Darth Malgus gains 50% turn meter. So not only are we inflicting all of these debuffs guaranteed now, and we're also now doing the damage spread like Bastila Fallen does on her shock ability, we're gaining 50% turn meter. Keep that in mind, because we're going to gain a lot of speed with this character as well. Not the turn meter from this, he's going to have a really high base speed. Dark Deception is our second special. It is a 4 cooldown Zeta ability, and it reads, deal true damage to target enemy equal to 40% of Darth Malgus' max health. Remember, we're scaling in that. I already told you to take a note on our max health, because we might be crazy. And now we're going to inflict doubt on them for 2 turns. This is the first time doubt comes up. You're going to need to remember that key word. Okay? If Darth Malgus is in the leader slot and not the ally slot, doubt cannot be resisted. Increase the target enemy's cooldowns by 1, which cannot be resisted. Darth Malgus gains protection up 20%, in addition to protection up 5% stacking for each debuffed ally for 2 turns. So if you have Darth Revan, who has 5 of his special debuff, plus this protection up, you gain the base 20, plus another 25% for the 5 little debuffs on Revan, totaling 45%. Now, for those of you, I told you, remember doubt. We're going to say what doubt does as its base before we get into doubt synergies. We're getting more with this ability, not just while it is on them, it is dispellable. You cannot gain bonus turn meter, buffs, or recover protection. Okay, remember, we also inflict shock on this, so we can stop them from healing health and protection. Very big, I would imagine. Kind of a huge part of the kit, right? Keep that in the back of your brain hole. First off, our leader ability. Legacy of Power has an Omicron. Before the Omicron, it says Sith Empire allies are immune to turn meter reduction for each Sith Empire ally at the start of battle, excluding summoned allies. Sith Empire allies have 10% critical chance and max health. Max health, remember that. We're scaling further. Plus another 10 speed per ally. The first time any other ally falls below 50% health, at the end of that turn, all enemies are inflicted with fear for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Darth Malgus is immune to stun and fear. Whenever doubt, remember that, expires from an enemy, Sith Empire allies gain a stack of We Have Returned for 4 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And it says, We Have Returned is a 5% critical damage and offense buff per stack. Stackable. It seems that it is a locked debuff. It says it cannot be dispelled or prevented or copied. And it does not say it has a maximum cap. So if we can somehow get 30 Things of Doubt to expire in 4 turns, we will have 30 stacks of We Have Returned. You know. Now, the Omicron half of this ability. While in Grand Arenas, Sith Empire allies have 50% mastery and an extra 30 speed on top of the other 10 speed they're gaining per ally, and 80% critical avoidance. The damage they receive is decreased by a flat 15%. I don't know if this is pre or post defense calculation, but either way, a 15% chunk off is huge. Bananas. If you think about how Rey hits for 300k, 15% off of that is what, 45,000 off of that damage ability? That makes some tanks live real easily. Moving on, whenever a Sith Empire ally is inflicted with a debuff, they recover 10% health and protection, which that counts for Darth Revan giving himself his own debuffs, I'd imagine. Whenever doubt is dispelled from an enemy, more of that doubt synergy, that enemy is inflicted with expose for 2 turns, which cannot be resisted. While enemies are inflicted with doubt, more synergy, they have 20% less speed, less tenacity, and 30% less critical damage. That's huge. We're taking Newt Gunray stuff, putting it on a better character with a better debuff. That is bananas. At the start of battle, if all allies are Sith, if all allies are Sith, excluding summoned allies, Darth Malgus gains an additional 50% max health and max protection, and 60 speed. At the start of battle, Darth Malgus recovers 100% health protection. I don't know what the 100% health protection means, why he recovered at the beginning of battle. Who knows? What I do know is that we have even more max health to scale with our third ability. We have more max protection to help stack with our third ability, and another 60 speed on top of our already 30 speed and the other 10 speed we get for each ally, which is what, 40, 30, 60, 130 speed? 130 speed, just for existing, you know. So if he has 80 speed, he's like faster than every character in Swgoh base, which is bananas. But you know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Now we're going to move on to Korriban's Legacy. Unique Omicron. Before the Omicron, it says, at the start of battle, Darth Malgus gains more max health. My god, he gains 5% max health and max protection for each Sith ally, and 10% max health and max protection for each other Sith Empire ally. This double dips just like Vader's speed for no escape, for like him and Emperor Palpatine being Empire and Sith characters. It does the same thing. So if you have Malak on, who is both a Sith and a Sith Empire, you gain 15% max health and max protection because he exists. Darth Malgus takes reduced damage from percentage of health damage effects, meaning he is not affected by expose, dots, or annihilate, such as Rex's annihilate. He'll still get insta-killed, but he won't take massive damage from Rex's annihilate. He is also immune to healing immunity, and while debuffed, gains 10% defense and health steal. Kind of minimal, but you know, the rest of his kit's bananas, so the debuff part is whatever. Being immune to healing immunity is huge. While Darth Malgus is taunting, he has a 60% counter chance, 20% defense, and negative 20% tenacity. Now, you're like, ooh, the tenacity is good, but you gotta remember, he's immune to basically all of the really big holdback CC effects. The things that are gonna really affect him with tenacity down are gonna be ability block and daze. They're gonna be probably the most important way that you control this team, if you can. I don't know, this thing sounds broken in my head, but someone will teach me wrong. If all allies are Sith at the start of battle, at the start of each encounter, Darth Malgus auto-taunts for 2 turns, and whenever doubt expires on an enemy, more of that doubt synergy, that enemy is inflicted with fear for a single turn. The first time each turn doubt is dispelled from an enemy, meaning they cleanse it off, or someone eats it with an ability, such as like Boba Fett. 2 random enemies who didn't already have it are inflicted with doubt for 2 turns at the end of that turn. These debuffs cannot be resisted. While in Grand Arena, if all allies were Sith at the start of battle, instead, the first time each turn doubt is dispelled from an enemy, all other enemies that didn't already have it are inflicted with doubt for 2 turns at the end of that turn, which cannot be resisted. Whew. Yeah. Oh, hey, it says on the bottom, Malgus does include himself for the plus 10 speed. So he doesn't get 130, he gets 140. Hey. Oh, man, that's bananas. He's so quick. Anyway, back to what we just went over. So doubt is going to naturally spread against a bunch of teams that have auto dispels, or teams that have mass dispels, such as like Rex in the 501st, or Shak T, who's being used in like the Imperial Trooper lineup to cleanse, or being used as a 501st holder, or she's inside of a Galactic Republic thing. Also works against just the Galactic Republic of Padme while she dispels, things like that. So it's going to spread like wildfire against a lot of teams. I don't know what beats this. I honestly do not know off the top of my head. I think he's going to be able to challenge Galactic Legends, especially with these Omicrons. You know, I don't think the 50% turn meter from here matters, but the abilities not being able to, or the debuffs not being able to be resisted does. I think that the leadership Omicron is humongous, and the unique Omicron on is like way less. So maybe a low investment character on the Omicron side of it. I don't think the basic. Oh, the basics is Zeta, so we're chilling. I think you only need those 2 Omicrons. I don't think you need the unique for him to be able to challenge. Definitely Jedi Master Luke. I think he can probably, how do I put it? He could probably clap them cheeks. But I do not know how he would fare against General Kenobi, being that he's going to auto-taunt, and he doesn't stop Ahsoka from insta-killing him. Once he disappears, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything against it. Maybe we can use a different lineup, like a four-man Sith Empire squad with like an extra Sith thrown in. So I think that's what gets him to auto-taunt. I'm not entirely sure. But this character is crazy. If you're not already at the point where you can start doing hard crate to like guarantee your shards of the beginning half of this character, you need to really get on it. You really, really do. It's so important to be able to get the shards from Conquest, especially because it takes a year for these characters to come out elsewhere. You're going to be so far behind comparatively to everybody else that exists inside of this game, which is, it's a phone game. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's it, man. That's it. This guy looks bonkers. He's gonna be a meta-defining character on his own without a Galactic Legend, which is terrifying, because when they said something about Conquest characters, they said that a GL plus a Conquest character that complements it is supposed to be unbeatable. So it scares me, because I don't know if there is a GL coming out within like the Sith Empire that is going to use Darth Malgus. That's the thing that scares me the most out of this kit reveal. Is maybe we're going into the Old Republic for Galactic Legends, which would be cool, but oh my god. This is... Whew. You ever thought power creep didn't exist in this mobile game? Here's your proof, bud. Here's your proof.